Hi everybody, Russell Markham here from VectorVest. Before we get into the lithium short video here, let's just quickly go through the disclaimer statement. So please do check out our financial services guide on our website there, and you can see all of our license numbers on the next slide here. Any advice is general advice only and does not consider your personal objectives, financial situations or needs. You should consider whether the advice is suitable for you and your personal circumstances. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Forecasts and backtests used or discussed in this presentation are intended as a guide only, and actual results may be affected by known or unknown risks and uncertainties, and therefore may differ materially from the results ultimately achieved. So here we are in VectorVest. So what you want to do to get to where I've come here, so if I right click here, you can always auto fit and make it all look nice and neat. And if you've got layouts that you don't like, for example, you can always right click and change the layouts. All right, so just click on any stock, and then here you can click on layout and adjust accordingly. All right, with that said, so what you're going to do is you're going to go into viewers. All right, so you go to viewers and you go to watch list viewer, and then you click on the commodities group, and within there is lithium. Okay, so here mine opens up. I'll right click here just to make it all nice and neat. And here it all is. The first thing that I noticed here with putting together 66 odd stocks, down the bottom, if I right click and view the watch list average, it's interesting if you pull this back over time. All right, so I'll pull this back over 14 years there, and let's take off the dividend yield and dividends. I mean, there's a bit of yield there. It's quite impressive currently across all those stocks at close to 6% there. But so what I'll do here is I'm just going to turn off div yield and div. So let's just quickly do that. Okay, so here we are. We're left with the earnings. And this is what I'm interested in here. So you can see a lot of pressure in lithium there. A lot of miners, from what I've been reading, were coming in and bulking up their mine supplies and put it out to the market around about that 2018, 2019 period. And then the lithium spot price sort of fell off, and there was oversupply effectively to the market. And then with the EV sort of boom that's been taking place, of course, things have picked up. You can see here during the global financial crisis, you know, lithium really was hit very hard, and it took quite some time to recover. But this is what's interesting here. You can see the story across all those stocks. The earnings are now starting to pick up. You can see here. All right, so although growth rate's sitting fairly flat, remember it's across all 66 odd stocks. So the key now is to drill in and find the ones that really stand out. So that's the overall snapshot of the industry. You know, and you look at sales across the industry, it's sort of holding steady and ticking up slightly there. You can see across the entire industry here, the net profit margins running at about 14 to 15%. All right, so a lot of interesting stuff taking place. But the idea now is that you go through the list and you pick out the ones that really jump out at you per how we teach it at VectorVest. So we want to find those nice, smooth left to right price patterns and earnings. So the ones that jumped out here, just to go through a few. So if I grab a handful here, now in your weekly essay there, we've noted PLS, no surprises there. Look at that, look at the earnings really rocketing up. It's exactly what we want to see, right? So here it came off, but in recent times, look at that, up come the earnings, up comes that earnings growth rate, a whopping 52% on earnings growth rate. So very impressive, but you'll find a lot of the lithium companies here, you know, there's question marks on the earnings for a lot of them here, right? So you can see here, this one's had a nice little tick up. I quite like the look of that one. I don't like the fact that earnings growth rate's gone into negative territory, all right? But a lot of these here, you'll see that time and time again presenting itself where the earnings are not that great. There's a handful that are holding up the industry on average. So what are the ones that really jump out? So in your weekly essay there, we noted PLS, and we also noted Min Resources. Okay, so I'll hold my control key down. So I've selected PLS, hold my control key down, click on Min. The two are highlighted. Let's graph the selected. Okay, so we've seen PLS, and then let's have a look at Min Resources. Now, Min, if I pull it back a bit more to give you the reason why, I really like the fact that the growth rate had rocketed up, although it's come off slightly since. This was back in the day when I was looking at it. It's still very solid at 20%. Sure, it's come off, but those earnings on average have been pretty steady. And what I like here are the earnings are starting to pick up again. So you can see that Min's had a pretty good track record. All right, it had a big setback there in mid to late 2021. But those earnings are back on track again. So you can see on average they had a very good set of earnings apart from that pullback there. All right, so I'm back in the watch list viewer. So I'm going to select Pilbara there, and I'm going to click on graph selected. All right, now let's set this to being 1 year. All right, so it is the 1 year. There it is. Now, here's the trick. Up the top left here, there's a square and then 4 squares within the square. So click on it once. Hold your, in fact, you don't need to hold any key down. Just move your mouse down, there we go, and then move it across. And then you can see you can highlight sort of different quadrants of that square as such. But let's do this just so you're selecting the top left, move over, select the top right, there we are. So you're now going to put 2 graphs side by side. That's what it's saying. Once you're happy, click your left mouse key. There we are. So yep, that's not the one I want. So we've got Pilbara, and let's compare it to Min. min.ax, enter. Okay, perfect. Comparing year on year. Here. Okay, so you can come in here, of course, and open it all up and make your changes. Don't forget to minimize back down because it's pretty difficult to see. All right, so there you go. So you've now got it side by side. So over the year, okay, we can see Pilbara has certainly been the standout performer. And Min Resources not so much, but look at this. Look at the uplift. It's starting to pick up again. So that's over 1 year. And then let's see, I can pull it back a little bit over here. So I pull it back about 4 years and 5 months. There we are, a little bit more. Okay, give or take. All right, close enough. 4 years, 5 months, 27 days. All right, close enough. All right. Look at that. So this is over a 5-year period, or just shy of 4.5. I'd have to say that Min is definitely that better earnings profile, is it not? All right, it had a pretty heavy pullback here, but over the years, and then let's do this. Let's go back. How far can we go back here? 6 years, 9 months. Let's compare apples with apples. So 6 years, 9 months approximately. There we are. Okay, so yeah, I mean, although the SA noted Pilbara certainly right now is one that stands out, I'd have to say that Min Resources over a longer time period certainly stands out. And the other thing going for Min Resources is if I pull it back, I can get 13 years of track record, but for Pilbara here, I'm only getting 6 years. So it's certainly proved itself over a very long period of time. But over the last, let's see where the earnings really started to pick up. Around about 217, really started to move up. Okay, I set back there, but look, it's coming up in an upward projection, correction. It's coming up pretty well up here now, isn't it? So there you go. What do you think? Go through those lithium stocks. So open up VectorVest, fire up your commodities watch list, select lithium, have a look. Are there any others that jump out at you? I must admit, Lake Resources, it almost made my cut, so to speak, in terms of ones I was interested in, because I like the fact there's been a big pop up here in the earnings. Something's going on here. And I like the fact, well, I don't like the fact that the earnings growth rate's negative. That certainly doesn't inspire me right now, but there was something else. Wasn't the sales? No, I think that was it. It was mainly the big pop in earnings. Oh, and the technicals, of course. Technicals coming up per our relative timing here, because you can see that price starting to trend up. All right, so take a look. What do you think of all the other ones in there? Are there any others that jump out at you? Have we missed any? Email us at VectorVest, let us know, and we'll put them in. Hope you got a lot out of it. Until next week, bye for now.
Bye.